What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Tröegs Independent Brewing, and they're out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, and this is their Oktoberfest Lager. So I don't know which style of Oktoberfest Lager this is, but it is an Oktoberfest. It comes in at 6.1% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, and at the time of review, I don't know exactly how old this can is, but it does have a freshest by date of November 22nd of 2022, and we're over 2 months away from that date, so we should be fine. Now, as far as information on this beer goes, they have a little spiel here on the side that I will read at the end, but I looked on their website, I looked on Untappd and Beer Advocate. On their website doesn't really clarify if this is a fest beer or a Märzen. Untappd says fest beer, and Beer Advocate says Märzen. Doesn't matter. We'll see. But they do say that for malt, they're using Pilsner and Munich. And as far as I know, I thought Munich was what you used in a Märzen, and then they introduced Pilsner for fest beer. So I would lean towards this being a fest beer if that's the case. Hops Hallertau Tradition. And it also says the color of this should be sienna. We'll see if that's the case. Now, I'll read the spiel at the end if I remember. You know the drill here on the Beer PaTroll. I'm so old, I forget half the time. Let's give it a pour here. All right, now right off the get-go, I'm going to say this looks like a Märzen. It does. You'll see when this is finished pouring, but this looks like a Märzen. It's darker like one. It doesn't have, yeah, that has to be, right? We'll see when I taste it and everything, but that looks like a Märzen to me. It has that, they say sienna color, I'll say like a deep copper, orange copper color. So mine's more generic. There's a specific. Yeah, the clarity is great. Good carbonation. It had about a 2-finger tan colored, almost khaki colored head. Kind of looks soap sudsy. A really good carbonation in this. Yeah, I mean, I would say that looks like a Märzen to me. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells more like a Märzen as well. Or Märzen, as you would say as well. I don't know why I do that. I like to say Märzen in the German pronunciation, even though it's probably incorrect. And I don't say the same thing for Festbier. I don't say Festbier. You know, I don't, but I don't know. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so it has a rich malty, like toasted malt, bready, somewhat grainy. Has a slight floral kind of spiciness from the hops. But I'm telling you right now, this smells like a Märzen to me, doesn't? I mean, the look of it, the color, darker. I don't know how it's going to come off on camera, but definitely darker. Like, this is definitely a Märzen color. And just the smell of it just smells more like that. Big, rich, malty components. It smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Prost, everyone. Yeah, for me, this definitely leans more to the Märzen side. That rich, when I say rich, I don't mean like it's, you know, like I'm drinking some kind of decadent pastry stuff. So when I mean rich is the malt character. It's complex. It's deep. That has depth to it. It has a richness to it. To me, and I'm not sitting here, I am the furthest thing from an expert when it comes to beer. I am still 100% a super novice to this. I've reviewed 1,500 beers. It doesn't matter. I've tried over 5,000. Doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm usually talking about. You know this, but from what I've had, fest beer comparison, or compared to a Märzen, this to me ticks all the boxes of a Märzen. So the one thing you'll have to always keep in mind when it comes to American breweries, a lot of times they'll put fest beer on the beer, and it will definitely be a Märzen. Sometimes they put Märzen, it's a fest beer. Sometimes you say Oktoberfest and let you guess. Regardless, this is pretty good. The body on this is a little bit bigger than anticipated. It is 6.1%, so a little bit bigger. Medium, a touch over. It has a nice, I was going to say firm carbonation. It's very crisp. It's quite clean as well, and pretty refreshing, super crushable. So body and mouthfeel are really nice. The taste, this is honestly reminding me of the Munsterfest that I just had from Three Floyds, but maybe not as robust and not as good, but still pretty good. So a lot of that, you know, rich toasted grain, toasted malt. This is more bready than biscuity to me. There's a little bit of like a honey, caramel, slight toffee vibe, like, you know, richer malt characters as it passes through. There's a touch of like a fruitiness I'm getting here. Make a little bit of like a red apple, very slight. There's a slight sulfur note too, a little bit of funkiness that you get from lagers. Second half palate, though, it's floral, a little bit of spiciness. It finishes full on dry. Very mild bitterness with this one, but it's a big dryness, so it's really balanced from that perspective. This is really nice. Kudos to Tröegs. Tröegs make good fucking beer. Let's just be honest here. They make good beer. I expected this one to be good, and it is. Not as good as that Three Floyds. I think that's my favorite so far this year, with Sam Adams' Fest beer close second. But this is pretty good. So I think this is just right under the Sam Adams Fest beer for me as far as Oktoberfest go. So Oktoberfest Lager, the 2022 release from Tröegs. This is going to get a very solid 4 out of 5. Digging this one a lot. Really nice. Now, let's read a little spiel here in the back before we shut it down. It says, Tröegs Oktoberfest is here. This is the first year they released it, by the way. It says, our take on this timeless German style starts with a traditional brewing technique called decoction, creating a bright, dry maltiness. Yes. A kettle edition of Hallertau Tradition hops add a subtle floral and herbal undercurrents. Okay, I didn't say herbaceous. I said more like floral spicy, but herbaceous spicy. Sometimes they go hand in hand. All right. It says, to this toasty sweet fest lager. So, yeah, I mean, whatever you want to call this one, is an Oktoberfest beer, and it's pretty good. Price point and availability. I don't know exactly what 6-packs of these are going for, because I picked this up in a mixed 6-pack at my local Wegmans grocery store, but I'd imagine probably like 10 to 12 bucks for a 6-pack, which would be fine. And availability, if you see Tröegs, you should see this one. So Oktoberfest Lager, the 2022 release from Tröegs, gets a 4 out of 5. If you had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. 6.1%, you really can't tell. Very akin to that Munsterfest, which I think was 6.2. It's a little bit bigger, but you can't really tell from the alcohol, but it'll get you where you need to go quicker when you're enjoying some Oktoberfest beer. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers. Or should I say Prost.